Don't know what you're starting for.
Because you'll be ready in 5, 4, 3, 2.
Doubtful.
The space after the 2 is meant to be silent to make it easy for me to edit. Now come on. It's not like we've never done this before. Not that I can remember how. Oh dear. Let's see how we go. Can I have some levels? Oh, come on. The Deranged Cat has increased fees for using this studio. So we need to...
Now, is that on a percentage basis?
Yes.
Right, so how much is that percentage?
Okay, well, the Deranged Cat was charging us no dollars and has increased, he's calling it a tariff of 40%. Yeah. So we can't allow time to waste here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Good. And of course, during all that, did I look at levels?
No, why would you? We were just having a conversation. Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trolled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello dear listener and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin and with me as always is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
I don't know whether I got that right. Did I get that right?
Yeah, you got that right.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Look, and then normally I would say, so what have you been up to? But I think there's an elephant in the room.
Yeah. I can try to make it brief. what I've been up to.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah.
All right then. Make it brief.
So, I wasn't there when Parliament attempted to pass a faulty emergency budget. I was almost there, but the House wrapped up very quickly, and then the Legislative Council discovered that the bill was faulty, and so had to request amendments, because it being a money bill, the Legislative Council can only request that it be amended. And so I wandered Battery Point for some amount of time. It was raining for much of this, so...
It does tend to do that in Battery Point. It has its own weather.
So, my feet were soaked afterwards.
Oops.
But that was alright. It was a nice walk, rain notwithstanding.
I don't think I'd even registered that you had attended that.
Oh, because I hadn't. And by the time I got back home...
Right.
By the time I got back home, the Legislative Council still hadn't sat to consider the bill.
The bill.
Yeah.
To ensure supply during the interim.
Yes, during the interim. I was there at the Taswater building, where the Tasmanian Electoral Commission also resides, for the drawing of the candidates for the state election that ensued. Blue plastic balls with slips of paper stuck in them, and then deciding the orders, and the initial orders, as it turns out, which helped with the political presentation that I subsequently gave. Slightly.
It was a wonderful presentation that Thomas gave to family, letting us all know how our somewhat unusual electoral system in the state works during state elections.
And then the election happened.
It did, and we had a very definitive and convincingly clear result.
Which is that there wasn't one.
No.
I was there in the tally room as it became clear what everyone suspected, which was that, the deck chairs have been shuffled a little. There's some new faces, but it's roughly the same sort of situation.
Some of the musicians have changed, but the music is still the same. Yeah. We have some form of minority government that is going to be relying on...
The crossbench.
The crossbench.
who I guess lean a little further left than the last one, but it's hard to say.
Yeah.
And Tasmania still does not have a functional Nationals Party because they were outpolled by the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers, who may in fact have a seat in this next parliament.
Indeed. That's how crazy it's got.
Yeah.
I'm glad you went for the short version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, now I'm just sort of sitting around waiting for results to be finalised. As we're recording this on a Tuesday, and that's weird in and of itself.
Yes.
On a Tuesday.
We were going to get to that too.
As we're recording this on a Tuesday, the distribution of preferences has just begun.
Yep.
And we have seen some people who would obviously be elected, and some people who would obviously be excluded.
Keeping in mind that this election actually happened how long ago, Thomas?
A little over a week ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had to wait for postals to come in.
Yes. We don't have first past the post. We have as I alluded to before, a somewhat complex and convoluted, but I'm quite fond of it.
It's proportional.
Yes.
And really the only sort of electoral system that might actually work in Tasmania, which is small, but requires a lot of people to govern.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, so, where was I?
We'll know by Saturday.
Maybe this time next week.
Sorry, we'll probably know who has a seat by Saturday, but as to who's going to be governing...
We know the parties that will have seats. We know most of the independents that will have seats. It's just sort of working out the last couple.
Yep.
And I have been very slowly preparing a submission to a federal joint standing committee on electoral matters for the federal election that happened not too long ago. A committee that doesn't yet have all its members because Parliament just started sitting again.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that has been occupying my thinking.
So that's what all the tapping away has been going on down that end of...
A lot of writing and making charts and realising that the charts don't support the argument that I intend to make.
So you fudged the figures?
Well,
so they
no, that would be dishonest.
Would it?
So
okay.
Reassess my assumptions, make the same argument but better. So I guess that's what I'll be chiselling away at for the next couple of weeks. Well, with any luck, I will have it done before the federal election is in fact referred to.
I thought you were going to say until the next federal election.
Well, one would hope. Yeah, it has been long enough that I can't remember if there was anything else that I wanted to bring up in this segment. The Tour de France happened.
It did. Men in Lycra.
Yeah, and Tadej Pogačar won, as everyone largely expected him to. Maybe not quite as...
Did you say today?
No, Tadej.
Oh, right.
Tadej Pogačar.
Right. I'm thinking, hang on, it ended days ago.
Yeah,
yes.
that ended Monday morning.
Yes.
Broadcast ended at about 4:50 a.m. Yeah.
And the women are still...
Yeah, the women are still going.
Away.
Much as I would like to support women's sport, one, France televisions are cowards and won't broadcast all of every stage, and two, I need some time to decompress, and this submission is taking enough of my brain space as it is.
Fair enough. But you got your good dose of Men in Lycra, so that was good.
Weird final stage, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Usually Paris is a sprinter's paradise, and this was a very, very wet hill climber's paradise.
Go figure.
That's how long my period of time has been.
Okay.
I can't remember how many weeks it's been.
It's been weeks and weeks. For which I am largely responsible for.
Yeah.
I'm flipping the floor to me. And, the elephant in the room. There's been some dramas in our lives, and I had a little bit of a mental breakdown including a trip to the hospital for a number of nights, and just slowly piecing things back together, and definitely wanting to bring our A game back to the podcast, and not being in a mental state to do that has resulted in us taking a while to reform. I am not promising that that our normal high quality podcast is going to be represented in this or subsequent weeks' podcasts, because things are still up and down, and
we sort of tossed the ball between each other as to who was prolonging this hiatus at any given time.
Indeed, yes. When things looked like, maybe we should, there are other things going on that I considered took precedence, but weren't actually me-centred. So here we are. And I was going to say, I do apologise, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not particularly fond of that phrase. It's, I think, a bit overused, but it is what it is. We are back for, sorry. Yes, I'm also very much more dim-witted, surprisingly. I'm stunned by that. And vague, and my head will go all over the place, which will make for great podcasting. But I do want to give a shout out to all those of our dear listeners who have reached out and given words of support, even though 99% of you have had no idea what's going on. But we appreciate anybody who decides to hop back on board now that we're back. But it's, again, another mental health thing that it's been part of our routine.
Mm-hmm.
And routine is good for our headspaces, apparently.
Yeah.
So we are going to endeavour to get back into a routine. However, the routine has slightly changed. As Thomas alluded to, we are recording on a Tuesday night rather than a Wednesday night, due to the fact that I would normally, with recording on a Wednesday night, be editing on Thursday. But my psychologist is wanting to see me weekly at the moment, and Thursday turned out to be the best day for that. So editing would be out for that. So it's just a little easier for us to just shift everything back a day. We weren't going to tell you that, but then we figured that, look, some of our dear listeners are prone to suddenly throw a comment on us within minutes of us about to record.
I do not know for certain on what day this is going out.
Indeed. It goes out when it goes out. I would like to, again, to keep my headspace in some kind of, what am I trying to say? What is the word I'm looking for that I've used already a number of times?
Routine?
Routine, yes. If I try to just pretend that tomorrow is Thursday as I edit it, then we will probably endeavour to put it out on a Wednesday. So you are now realising why, this is weird. This is, first, there's a podcast out, and secondly, it's coming out on a Wednesday. What's going on? Actually, the truth is that we are actually AI voices. And so our AI selves are going to be watching a film, and and look, we probably will. What have I been up to other than having major crises? I went for a great walk today.
Great.
Even though it wasn't quite what I was expecting, I went to do my fortnightly plasma donation, and the last couple of times they've detected a slight irregularity in my heartbeat, as in it skips sometimes, as in misses a beat. And today it missed 2 in a row. So they've sort of said, look, go see your GP, your general practitioner, your doctor, your family doctor, and get an ECG done and get your doctor to sign off this form here. And then if everything goes well there, we'll keep taking your plasma quite happily, but let's get this investigated. So, went in, had my finger prick done to check my hemoglobin, and then they checked my pulse, and then phone calls were made. And I spoke to a very nice doctor on the phone, and they said, yep, let's just get this investigated.
Yeah.
And so I went for a walk, a very long walk, up through North Hobart to Cornelian Bay, and then around the coast to the bridge, across the bridge, into Rosny Park, over Waverley and home.
Yeah.
So a little over 20,000 steps, and I needed it, even though it decided to rain on me. Oh, look, we've waffled on for way too long. That's where we are. So you're going to have to take us as you find us, and we're finding our legs again and voices, but we have a film to watch.
Oh, you betcha.
And you chose it weeks and weeks and weeks ago.
Yeah.
And
2 months ago I have ascertained.
It's been so right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a long hiatus.
Yeah.
Forced hiatus.
When we usually only go away for a week or two.
I should have said it was writer's strike.
Who would write this?
I don't know. Who would believe it? What are we watching this week?
We are watching the 1996 film Fargo.
Please tell our dear listener what Fargo is all about, according to the blurb on the Blu-ray disc that you have in your hot little hand.
Yeah. Things go terribly awry when small-time Minnesota car salesman Jerry Lundegaard hires 2 thugs to kidnap his wife so he can collect the ransom from his wealthy father-in-law. Once people start dying, the very chipper and very pregnant Police Chief Marge takes the case. Will she stop at nothing until she gets her man? You betcha.
You betcha. That's what we're watching. We are going to watch it either on the Blu-ray. It depends on whether Thomas decides to open the case. Or, it looks like we are. For those of you in Australia, you can watch it on Stan and, what did you mention? Paramount Plus?
MGM Plus.
Oh, MGM.
A Prime Video channel.
Oh, it's so confusing.
Your subscriptions have subscriptions now.
Yes. We're going to watch it. We're going to come back and we're going to talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side.
Turn to side B.
Well, it depends on whether we watched it on disc or whether we watched it on subscription, doesn't it?
Or subscription.
No, well, we don't have subscription.
No, we
don't. Just roll the tape, you mongrel.
None of what we're doing will involve tape.
So what did you think?
It continues to be an excellent film that I have seen a few times at this point.
That is my second watching.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a number of years since I first twisted my own arm to watch it. You did mention in the previous episode to be prepared for Steve Buscemi to do his job, but he wasn't the only one who had a potty mouth. It was F words plenty, so
yep.
Any of our dear listeners who may be put off by such things, yes, I can assure you that there's plenty in that department to be put off by. I must admit to be tweaking the volume somewhat to...
Yeah, it's fascinating, the idea of a true story that you know didn't happen.
What? No, it's said at the beginning. No. That the only thing, it was just the names that were changed and everything else that was in this film happened.
And that's
what it said at the beginning.
And that's the thing. It all feels like things that could have happened. There's the interaction with the guy in the Twin Cities over dinner.
Yep.
Which doesn't have anything to do with the rest of the movie.
Doesn't have anything at all to do with it.
But it's something that would happen.
Yeah. Yeah. It was all of those little interplays that in any other film would be considered superfluous, and why did they bother with that? But that scene was strangely necessary to continue to develop, I guess, the one redeeming character in this whole film. and that is the policewoman who is just complete composure all the way through because of her nature, and that scene continues to show that and how she reacts later to more information revealed.
Because everyone else either isn't in it enough to say either way, or they just suck.
They're just nasty, nasty creatures. Sorry, that's not entirely true. I mean, yeah, not in it enough. The mother, I guess, falls into that. What about the son?
Yeah.
He's
lost his mother.
He essentially lost his father and his grandfather.
Yeah.
Spoilers. And yet they hinted backwards to the fact that, the son was mentioned midway through as to, how is he? And the father, yeah, I'd better do something about that. That's how superfluous the son was, and yet vitally important to continue to show exactly how messed up.
Oh, dear.
It's just... it really...
William H. Macy can really play a loser.
And he just did it so well in this. And all of the other characters were just completely on point. I mean, what was the line that Steve Buscemi character kept on being described as?
Just sort of funny looking.
Funny looking, yeah. In what way? Oh, the usual way?
Just a general way.
Yeah. This, and I was trying to think, I think there has been one other time that we have watched a film that I gave the label of American quirk. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember what it was. I don't know whether you can.
No.
And it was probably, I don't know, have we watched any other Coen brothers?
We watched The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which was a Western anthology.
Yep.
And
really, but I don't think it was that.
The only other one of their work that I've actually managed to sit through.
Yep.
Very hit or miss with me.
Yeah.
But after reading, I found two immediately awkward. Mm-hmm. Not sitting well with me.
Yep.
And the remake of The Lady Killers is infamously not good.
It should never have been done. No, I haven't watched it, but yeah.
So I didn't finish either of those.
Could it have been a Wes Anderson?
Yeah, it was probably Wes Anderson.
I don't know whether that's quintessentially American quirk, though. Because all of them seem to have a very European flavour to it. Mm-hmm. But this, if I had to give it a label, it reminds me very much of Canadian humour, which is different again. But, yeah. If any of you, dear listeners, can remember, I'm quite sure that there was a film that I wanted to give the label of American quirk, and this certainly falls into it. It's just such a cleverly quirky film, and it's shot so well, right from the opening, with the whiteness and the atmosphere and weather played such an important part in everything that happened in there, with conversations, and it's just really good, and taking advantage of just the bleakness. There was one particular shot where it was an extremely wide shot of just almost whiteness, with a car basically driving along the bottom of the screen. And as I said, it was a wide shot, so the car was very far off, but it was just this car against the whiteness, and yeah. And
then, do you have anything else to say about the film itself?
I've got this quote, it's a real shame, and I don't know what that's connected to now. Somebody said it's a real shame.
Marge talking to the guy in the police car at the end?
No. It wasn't right at the end.
Earlier?
No. It might have been during that first, where she first gets called out, where she looks in the car and says, "Oh, it's a real shame." Maybe.
Yeah.
I guess. And the thing that I had connected with the American quirk was, again, referring to the son, whose only other sort of character development is the accordion sitting next to him on the bed, and then the door sign saying "Accordion King." I mean, that's just quirky and weird, but completely makes sense. It's just music was great.
Yep.
Just spot on, right for it. Again, with a quirky sense of being part of the character of the movie.
Yeah.
I think that's all my notes. It really is an incredible movie.
Mm-hmm.
But again, with the big warning sign of, gee, it's sweary.
And then after that, one of the networks tried to put together a Fargo TV series with different people in the roles of Marge and Norm. Norm being Marge's husband.
Who were just so on point.
Oh, yeah.
In this movie, you could completely believe that they were a married couple who loved each other in a special, quirky way.
Mm-hmm. Didn't get past pilot. These things happen in network television.
Yeah.
And then in 2014, Noah Hawley, who at the time was known for a little bit of work on Bones,
Right.
created the anthology television series Fargo, which has so far released 5 series, and I've seen the first 3 and a bit of.
Mm-hmm.
4th one wasn't quite gripping me, and I keep saying at some point I'll probably skip forward to the 5th one. There's small connections here and there, but
Yeah.
first season of that, a character finds the briefcase full of money.
Okay.
Not the inciting incident of the series, just something that happens to a character.
It's interesting you mention that, because that was certainly on my mind, that when he buried it so shallowly in the snow, that is not lost forever.
Mm.
It is certainly going to be found by someone. And yet, I guess what happens to the son sort of was more important in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, cool. I am going to have to get round to... I don't think I'd registered that they'd previously tried to do a TV series.
But like I said, didn't get past pilot, so...
Right.
Yeah.
But they released the pilot?
I'm not entirely certain.
They probably
on that.
may not have done. If it didn't get past pilot, I don't think they necessarily...
It aired in 2003 during a series based around pilots that didn't get up.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah.
There was probably a writer's strike around then.
Now it's unclear when there will be more of it. Last series was in 2024. That was the 5th series, so 5 series over the course of about a decade. Now Noah's doing Alien Earth, so...
so he's a bit busy.
Yeah, busy doing another FX property.
Right. So, not necessarily holding breath.
Yeah.
But, I haven't even watched the first season of that, but you've piqued my interest, and it has been piqued before, but I just haven't got round to it.
Ain't that the way?
Yeah. It might have been an aversion to... I don't know. I didn't want... What little I could remember of the film, other than Steve Buscemi, I didn't want that spoilt. So, Yeah, I didn't get around to it. Anyway, do you have anything else to say about that film?
No.
I do not either.
It's good.
Yeah. And for those in Australia, yep, streaming on Stan. And elsewhere it's MGM Plus, which is a sub-subscription of Prime. Does it have ads?
I assume not, it being a separate subscription, but...
You'd be a bit ticked if you did. Anyway. All right, then. Well, we shall move on then.
Yes, let's. The following segment has no title. Thank you. When I announced the hiatus various places, there were well wishes sent and passed along.
Yep.
That I don't intend to go over again.
No, and I also received some privately and also responded directly to them. But yeah, do appreciate concern from our dear listeners, and hopefully we can get back up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there were some comments on our previous episode.
What was that?
2 months ago.
What did we watch 2 months ago?
On Phone Booth.
Oh, that's right. We watched Phone Booth.
The sweariness of which is why we watched Fargo.
See, isn't that weird? Because I don't remember that was sweary. But it can't have been anywhere near as sweary as Fargo was.
No. I'm afraid that the minds over at IMDb count such things, and there were in fact more swears in Phone Booth.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Huh. Well, there we go.
We will start over on Discord with Entuosferatu.
Hi, Entuosferatu.
Who says, we are watching the 2003 film Phone Booth. Please, tell us what a phone booth is.
Well, look, I think that is very tightly connected with another comment further on, so I won't say anything about what a phone booth is until later on in the comments. Thomas is giving a weird look.
Over on Facebook, Helen.
Hi, Helen!
Says, well, I am so far behind that I just decided to start here. I'll try and catch up on the rest later. Thanks for the introduction to oklupanids, that is to say, bread tags.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't collect these, but I do have a large collection of Oclupanopsidae. Which is to say, paper and cardboard replacements for the classic plastic.
Yep.
Thanks also for reviewing Phone Booth for me so that I don't have to watch it. I was confused by a reference to Steve the Chamois in the middle of proceedings. I assumed at first that Steve the Chamois was for cleaning up the furry language that was being discussed, until I finally realised you were talking about Steve Buscemi. In my defence, I don't think I've seen him all that often.
Fair enough.
And finally...
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, no, I see now. Finally, over on YouTube, M.
Hi, M.
With Captain America, Brand New World being mentioned.
Which I still haven't watched.
Brave New World being mentioned. It's okay.
Right, okay.
Have either of you watched the recent Superman movie? I've heard good things, but haven't seen it yet. I haven't, no.
I also have not.
I've certainly heard good things.
Yeah, I've heard some pretty good things too. And I do wonder whether they know what a phone booth is. Because traditionally, certainly when I was growing up, that's where Superman used to get into his cosy.
A phone booth being a large rectangular box in which one can find a phone, which traditionally you would have to use physical money to pay to use. But nowadays in Australia, I think most of them still have the mechanism, but don't actually take money.
No, you don't have to put money in to make Australian calls or Australian mobile calls. You can just dial them.
I think the usage got to a point that...
it was too expensive to send people out to collect, to check whether there was any money in the...
But there was still a desire, I suspect, from the Australian government.
There is a government requirement for coverage.
To have those still out there, so Telstra just made them free.
Yeah. It's cheaper for them to make them free than to have someone go out and empty the 20-cent pieces out of them.
Yeah. And a lot of them have Wi-Fi.
Yeah, they've stuck free Wi-Fi transmitters inside them as well, which is a slightly different tack to what they've done in the UK. A lot of the UK phone booths that haven't been removed have defibrillators in them.
Or some of them have been converted for community use.
Little book libraries and, But of the remaining phone booths, of which some do actually have doors still in Australia, free calls.
Yep.
However, they are very, very much just a glass box, the ones that have doors. So getting dressed inside one of them, I am not surprised that Superman usually ends up with his underpants on the outside. Because, Anyway.
That will take us up to the guesses.
It will.
And as I recall, at the end of the last episode, I said there were probably 2 plausible options, and I can say that they both have representation amongst the guesses we have received.
They do. I was not surprised.
We have, first, phone booth. That's PHONEBTH, suggested by Helen and M. And we have phone booth, PHNBOOTH, suggested by Entosferatu. And I can confirm that one of those is correct.
One of them is correct.
Implied by the idea that there were only 2 plausible options, although he could have gone for anything else, really. I can say that the winner, and there is only one winner of an arbitrary point this week, is Entosferatu.
Well done, Entosferatu. As I look at the file name that I couldn't remember typing in, and currently what's on the screen, no one will guess, because it has absolutely nothing to do with this week's episode. However, it does have a lot to do with the last episode that we recorded.
Yeah.
So you can either guess what is currently on the screen, or I challenge you to guess what I would have typed if I'd actually created a new file name, because I think that's just as easy.
So hard to say.
Yes. Just a reminder, this week's movie that we watched was Fargo.
That's Fargo.
Yep. All right then. So, good luck with your guesses there.
Any other sort of commentary related to what we've discussed?
Yeah.
Commentary on previous episodes, we're always, assuming we notice, happy to take. Film suggestions?
Film suggestions would be great. We must actually start digging into some of those. But, yeah.
Yeah.
Any comments on the channels that you're currently using that are mentioned in the show notes and in the closing credits?
Or where you are listening to it, possibly.
Yep.
Yeah, any of that is good.
Yeah. All right, then. I think we shall move on.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
And it is your turn.
It is my turn. And although I referred to the fact that we really need to start digging into, I only just thought that. So had actually selected a movie from my list of films that I wish to throw at the screen for this podcast. I'm going to start reading the plot synopsis and see how long it takes for you to buzz in. And I'm hoping that this plot synopsis doesn't give away too much. Brian Mills, a former government operative, is trying to reconnect with his teenage daughter Kim. After reluctantly agreeing with his ex-wife to let Kim go to Paris on vacation with a friend, his worst nightmare comes true. While on the phone with his daughter shortly after she arrives in Paris, she and her friend are abducted by a gang of human traffickers. Working against the clock, Brian relies on his extensive training and skills to track down the ruthless gang that abducted her. Oh, yes?
What's his name? I know the name of the film now. Does this film star Liam Neeson?
It does indeed star Liam Neeson.
Is it Taken?
It is Taken. Have you seen Taken?
I have not.
Neither
no.
have I, which is why I'm curious about these extensive training and skills. A particular set of skills.
I know he has a particular set of skills.
Yeah. I want to put this into context. So, he could be really good or it could be really bad. His skills to track down the ruthless gang that abducted her and launch a one-man war to rescue his daughter. Next week, we are watching Taken. We hope that you can join us. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
Things go terribly awry when small-time Minnesota car salesman... I'm going to start again.
Okay.
Tongue on teeth. Things go terribly awry when small-time Minnesota car salesman Jerry Lundegaard hires two thugs